it is definitely very necessary to keep yourself updated, whether you are in the business world or any other vocation. And as they say, learning is earning. No one should become like me because I'm not like anyone. I really want to say that. And I think today's generation understands that very well. I worked in an IT product company. I set up MSD India, from scratch. I set up Reliance Money and Reliance Life Insurance also when those names also did not exist. So I sort of understand how startups are formed, how they evolve and stuff like that. So definitely I can, advise entrepreneurs.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel StartupLanes.com. I am Pranjal Jaiswal and I take interviews of various CXOs of India. She is the CHRO of Raymond Consumer Care Limited. She is a versatile HR leader with 22 plus years of diverse industry experience. She has handled leadership roles, deep diving into areas like strategic HR business partnerships, critical post merger integration initiatives, leadership development, startup HR, diversity and inclusion, etc. She has set up organizations, worked in cross border teams, coached and mentored teams, and in the process, evolved as a leader herself. With this, let's dive into this video.
So my name is Aparna Vishwasrao, and I'm a HR leader with 22 plus years of work experience across industry verticals and in all stages of the business cycle, whether it is startups or mature industries or even in a post-merger acquisition kind of a situation. I have worked in all kinds of setups and in different contexts. And the verticals that I have worked is BFSI and IT product companies, FMCG, pharma. Currently, I am the CHRO of Raymond Consumer Care, and I'm part of the HR committee that is responsible for the overall HR policy matters and governance of the Raymond Group. And in the past 2 years, what I've done is basically engineered a turnaround along with business for Raymond Consumer Care. In the first place, we formed Raymond Consumer Care as an entity, which was a merger between two FMCG arms of the Raymond Group. And basically, my hobbies are reading, writing, and travel, and I hail from Mumbai.
Tell us about your professional journey. What led you to this point, and was that easy or tough?
Okay, so about my professional journey in the business world, I think it goes back to my education. So I did my master's in HR, what was called as Personnel Management and Industrial Relations then, from Tata Institute of Social Sciences, which is, as you know, a prestigious institute for HR in India. That was about 23 years back. Sounds like a long time. And that's where my professional journey in the world of HR began. And prior to that, I have a master's in English literature. So I bring both a blend of, you can say, analytical thinking and creative thinking to the business world. So I began my career from campus with BPCL. Before that, I interned for a long time in Hindustan Unilever, what it was called then. And then I worked in various sectors. I spent a largest part in the banking and financial services sector, where I was first working in Standard Chartered Bank on the retail side, and then I was in Reliance Mutual Fund, and then I was deployed as the head HR of Reliance Money. Basically, we set up that company from scratch. I was one of the first employees, and then we also started Reliance Life Insurance, and we relaunched Reliance General Insurance. So I worked in Reliance Capital as an entity when it was just getting formed. Then I worked for 12 years in my earlier company that is called as MSD, Merck Sharp and Dome, which is a Fortune 50 company, and we set it up in India. And then I worked there in Merck, in not just in India but across the world in regional and global roles. And then I joined Raymond Consumer Care a little bit more than 2 years back. So that is just a short synopsis of my career journey. But what I would like to also share is the kind of experiences that I've had, which covered all facets of HR end to end, whether it is business partnering or IR or HR ERP. And the third aspect that I would like to share with everyone is that, as I said in my intro, I worked in all kinds of phases of business. Startup has been like a large part, followed by a little bit of growing businesses as it was in Raymond. Uh, so that breadth and depth of exposure I have not just to the HR function but all phases of the business um, cycle. So if your next thing was whether it was easy or tough, so I would say a combination of both. Easy because of my own disposition to learn, and also I got good people around me like mentors and bosses and my own colleagues and team members who have always supported me and guided me. Tough because obviously in such a long career journey there will be tough situations in business, and how do you manage them. And there are certain learnings that happen on the job. There are certain learnings or guidance that you get from get from people around you like your bosses or your mentors, and then I think a combination of both makes the tough part easier. That is how I can put it across.
So, ma'am, have you faced any difficulties in your life? Can you think of a tough time and how did you tackle it?
Yeah. So I'll just touch upon a little bit on my personal life. So my father passed away at a very, very early stage, like when I was just in the sixth standard or so, and then I had younger siblings. So obviously, I assumed responsibility of the family at a very early age. No one told that to me. So why I just am touching upon this topic is that those natural leadership tendencies got carried forward to the business world as well, and it just doesn't remain then in your personal life. How you are as a person, it gets carried forward to the professional realm as well. So this whole thing about taking charge of the situation, leading from the front, I think came naturally to me, and that's the reason why I could set up organizations from scratch, engineer turnarounds along with the business. So that was about my personal life. Coming to the tough situations that I have handled in the business world. So the first tough situation that occurs to my mind is when I joined Raymond Consumer Care as a CHRO, that too under lockdown. Obviously, I did not get interviewed during the lockdown. It was much before that. By the time I joined, the lockdown was declared, and we had to do the merger and between two different companies of the Raymond Group, but they were very dissimilar in nature in terms of the business model, in terms of culture and stuff like that. And the second part was to engineer the growth story of the newly formed organization, and all under lockdown. And we are FMCG company, so we were categorized under the essential services, category under lockdown. So we were fully functional as an organization from day one. It wasn't like, we were sitting at home or something like that. So do both the things, these strategic things, which is the merger, engineer the turnaround and ensure that the business continuity is maintained. That was a real tough time for both for me, for the top management, including the CEO of the company and my own HR team. But we were able to, I think, do that well, and company has registered phenomenal growth, and on all the people parameters also, like attrition has come down, the engagement scores are at an all-time high as compared to the last 5 years. So all that, I think, was a great learning, but it was indeed very tough as I reflect on it today. The second tough situation that comes to my mind was in one of my earlier organizations when I was the lead, HR business partner, and I had to face with a very tough compliance situation when one of the key business heads was involved in compliance related matters, and the whole team that I was serving had complained to me, and I had to take a tough stand and do the whistleblowing against key people of the company, and take it up sort of with the top management of the company, both locally and globally. That was very tough for me, but I learned from that situation. I survived. I kept on working there even after the whistleblowing, though data shows that after whistleblowing people don't work and all. It was very different for me. I did get support from all the necessary quarters, but these two things really stand out amongst all the tough challenges that I have handled, in my longish career journey so far.
Very nice, ma'am. So my next question is it necessary to keep yourself updated How do you keep up to the latest trends?
Yeah, so it is definitely very necessary to keep yourself updated, whether you are in the business world or any other vocation. And as they say, learning is earning. And also, someone told to me that, if you don't learn, then someone will teach you through the hard way. So, my approach to learning is, continuous learning and what we call as, the 70-20-10 approach towards learning, where 70% of the learning, as they say, happens on the job. So, for me, my a job has both operational and strategic challenges. So that really helps me to learn on a day-to-day basis. The other 20 part is learning through relationships, means through coaches, mentors. So I do have a business coach who has sort of helped me in my journey, both on the business front as well as on the behavioral front. Both like nurturing the functional skills as well as the behavioral skills. Then I have certain industry mentors, so I take advice from them whenever I start anything which is like large scale or strategic, or even sometimes day to day complex challenges. I may seek their advice. And on the 10 front, which is very dear to me, which is learning through formal means like books and training and stuff like that. So I'm a great fan of online learning. So LinkedIn learning is that I sort of subscribe to. A lot of courses I do on strategic thinking, strategic execution, and then I read up not just books but important sites like HR Katha, magazines like Human Capital, People Matters, then Harvard Business Review. So I subscribe to that. And then on the business front, magazines like Business World and Business Today, I read them on a regular basis, both like, keeping track of the macroeconomic and microeconomic trends that affect the country, that affect the world, and then finally that affects our business. So that is my approach towards learning.
Which are your favorite books and what's your takeaway from them?
Yeah. So my favorite books are many. So like I like to learn from the inspirational story of leaders. So APJ Abdul Kalam's, sort of autobiography, Wings of Fire. Then Kiran Bedi's biography, I Dare. Those two books are there in the biography list. Then recently I read A Life Led in Full by Indra Nooyi. That was also very inspiring. Then on the other business books front, Built to Last, Good to Great. These books I really read and reread them because that helps you understand how you can build organizations that have stood the test of time and have stood the test of all business cycles and external macro economic trends. But I'm also an eclectic leader, so I do read on literature, and like I read a lot of poetry as part of my daily routine, and I do read a lot of films because I'm a great Satyajit Ray fan. So I have read everything written on Satyajit Ray and books written by Satyajit Ray as well. So this is a list, and what I've learned from all these books, if you ask me, like the gist is be proficient. Even if you take the example of say Indra Nooyi or Satyajit Ray, be very proficient in what you are doing, gain deep expertise. Second, and gain the garner the resources or the support to do that thing that you want to do. And third, like an attitude of continuous learning. The fourth thing I would like to add to it is how the human spirit triumphs over all odds. There will be challenges, there will be obstacles in life. If you look at the lives of all these people, or if you look at even books like Good to Great or Built to Last, even those organizations face challenges, but how they have not just survived but grown. So the triumph of the human spirit, that is something which is an enduring lesson for me from all these books or all these writers.
Ma'am, what is your success mantra? Share your original quote or a quote that you follow.
I would like to quote not just a mantra but a little bit of a context as well, in the context of my leadership journey, in this specific context. So there's a quote by Winston Churchill which says that success is not final and failure is not fatal. So have the courage to keep moving on. And to that, I would like to add that, which is my own thing, that uh, aspire for your, goal, dream for it, and keep on aspiring, and then put your. So, if I have to put it in a succinct way, like dream bigger for your goal, and in that you put your mind, body, soul. So it's like whenever you dream big and you dream about your goal, dream about bigger goals, and then it's a full mind body thing. Like you immerse uh, yourself in that, as part of your leadership journey, or to achieve success in any aspect of life, whether you're a student, whether you're a teacher, or you are a business leader. Uh, so dream big, and aspire for your goal, and in that you put your mind, body, soul. That is my success mantra, by which I you know live by on a daily basis. And I quoted Winston Churchill, and I really mean it, because you will face ups and downs in your daily journey, and while you pursue your operational goals, and while you pursue your strategic goals as well. But you have to be steady, and you need to have the resilience and courage to be at it on a daily basis. And that I interspersed with the thinking big thing, because when you think big, then no obstacles in the way, or no challenges in the way will seem indomitable. You will have the courage to sort of move ahead in your journey despite the presence of those inevitable challenges.
Very nice one. So
Yeah.
how can your followers become like you?
Okay. So first thing I want to say is that no one should become like me, because I'm not like anyone. I really want to say that. And I think today's generation understands that very well. And I myself think like that. So if you ask me also, I have like many influences in my life. I don't like imitate anyone, but certain positive elements I like to take, say from the industry leaders or my teachers or people whom I admire in my life. So I would say that my followers should take those positive aspects from me and sort of try to imbibe that in their day-to-day life. So one of the aspects, 4-5 aspects I would like to mention here. So one of the aspects is obviously um, be positive towards life. The second most important thing is, when you're positive, you'll be able to think big about your goals. So plan your goals in a very structured and systematic way. And then the third thing, as they say, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So have a great execution bias towards your goals. And fourth most important thing, like while you're doing all this, while you're positive towards yourself, you've thought about your goals and you're executing them, be kind towards yourself and others. We shouldn't forget that in our day-to-day life. You have to love yourself, and at the same time ensure that you take your team along with you, or you take people who are there in your environment along with you, as you move ahead in your journey, or go ahead in life, executing your goals. So I think these are the 4 things that people can learn from me, which, because I practice them in their day-to-day life. And if I have to mention a 5th thing, it would be continuous learning. So you did mention about how do I update myself and stuff. So if you have to be sort of a leader in your industry, or a thought leader in your industry, and you want people to follow you, or you want your company to excel, you need to be a constant learner. So the 5th thing that people could possibly learn from me is my learning attitude. Yeah.
What is your daily routine? How many hours a day do you work?
Yeah. So my daily routine begins with when I wake up. Like I actually wake up with a certain set of positive affirmations, which I have already framed based on my goals, followed by prayers and then yoga. Then I work for 11 to 12 hours a day. And then again at night, I end with some form of exercise, like walking or some cardio. So more or less, this is my daily routine that I try to follow. And then weekends would be like time for family, and friends.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was my actually next
yeah,
question. Like, how do you balance your work life and family?
yeah, yeah. So I want to be very clear that the way work is structured today, especially in the past 8 to 10 years, work life and family life has blended. Like personal life and work life has blended now with each other. So we have to, find out time now for, especially in a job like this, like when you are heading a function or you're heading a company, find quality time for the personal uh, aspects of your life. So which I do both for my family and friends. I've created a support system at home to ensure that all the personal things are taken care of, so that they don't affect um, my daily routine. So that is very important. Second, having supportive people around you who understand you and um, you know support you in your career journey. So and then uh, I try and follow the disciplined routine that I shared with you as much as possible, and all the personal things are taken care of by the support system that I have created. But yes, I do give a lot of importance to all my family members and to all my friends, and I don't miss out important occasions. And weekends, I'm able to obviously dedicate more time to them. And let me be frank with you, there was a time when my family needed me more. So that time I took up less demanding roles. So where I there was less travel or the working hours were not that long, so that I could take care of them. So I have now outgrown that stage, and with a proper support system in place, I'm able to take up, a challenging job, and dedicate time to my hobbies as well. Yeah.
What will be your advice that you would give to your 20 years younger self? Have you made any mistakes that you regret now?
So my 20 years younger self, without blinking an eye, I will give an advice to really think big and plan goals, both personal and professional, in a more structured way. I started doing that only a few years back. You know, each and every aspect of your life, your health, your finances, your career goals, and all of that. That is the first advice I would like to give to my 20 year younger self. And the second thing, any regret, again, like on the health and fitness front, I think the awareness itself was little low 20 years back, and now we are fully conscious. So I wish I was that much aware and conscious on the health and fitness front uh, when I was much younger.
Ma'am, where do you see yourself today if you haven't picked up this career?
Yeah. So if I hadn't done my MBA, as I shared with you, I have a English literature background, so I would have possibly been a journalist or something like you, and or else I would have been in the government service. Because my first job was indeed in the government after I completed my post graduation in literature. So I cleared the civil services. So my first job was a deputy commissioner. So yeah, but I left that and I did my MBA. Yeah.
Would you like to mentor the entrepreneurs? If yes, which type of ideas or startups you would prefer?
Yeah. So definitely, I would like to mentor the entrepreneurs or people who want to start their own companies. So where my expertise and experience both can be shared, and also you have to understand that for a long time I worked in startups. Like I worked in an IT product company. I set up MSD India, from scratch. I set up Reliance Money and Reliance Life Insurance also when those names also did not exist. So I sort of understand how startups are formed, how they evolve, and stuff like that. So definitely, I can, advise entrepreneurs in the realm of not just HR services but overall business, especially in BFSI like banking, financial services vertical, pharma or healthcare, and IT product. So these are the three verticals where I can, sort of advise them or help them in setting up their business. And HR end to end, any kind of service or any kind of product that you have in mind and you need help, I would be most willing to, sort of lend my expertise or share my expertise.
Whom would you like to thank for supporting you in your career and life?
Yeah. So definitely first and foremost, like my parents for educating me, and then second, I want to share names of a few bosses who have really guided me and pushed me into leadership roles at a very early age. You know, who sort of saw the potential in me. So actually, I would like to go back to two bosses when I joined Reliance Mutual Fund, and like one was the HR head Manish Kumar, and the second one Sudeep Bandyopadhyay, who was the CEO of Reliance Money, of the newly formed entity, and he both of them, you know, sort of put me in a leadership role at a very young age to set up companies from scratch when I think I myself had not seen the potential in me. And then one of my bosses in MSD who sort of helped me to get into you know, regional global roles and work at an international level. His name is David Hawk. And my current two bosses, A. Narayan and Sudhir Langar, like I really work with them day and night to work with them day and night to engineer the turnaround, and there were a lot of learnings from them. So all these bosses have helped me, and then I have a few friends who have always you know, sort of supported me in my career journey. Yeah, and I have two industry mentors who really guide me in all aspects of my you know, work life. So I'm indebted to them. So it's a combination of my parents, bosses, mentors, and friends.
So my next question is, what do you think about startup lanes?
Yeah. So I know about StartupLane. I think it's a great platform for startups across countries. And what is most important is that you guys give end-to-end advice, which I think is a little bit amiss in the startup space. And people really flounder whatever I have seen for information and for guidance. And then here you are providing them information right from how to make the pitch deck to the funding, to the you know, to the more industry specific advice as well, or the function specific advice. So that's a great thing that you're doing. And I really think in an emerging country like India, StartupLanes has a more important role to play, because while we don't have dearth of ideas, we do have dearth of guidance on how to go about with your startup. And I really think that with StartupLane, maybe you guys will really pioneer the next Indian Amazon or Indian Google. So, or even some, not just in the IT space, or some other uh, industry vertical as well. So really, my kudos to StartupLane and the entire team for doing such pioneering work.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.
So my last question for you is, how should people connect with you, like either through LinkedIn, Twitter, email, or like other platforms?
Yeah. So they can connect with me through LinkedIn. They can send me messages, as well as they can send me an email in case they need my advice on any matter. And my email ID is aparna.vishwasrao@gmail.com. So, which I think is visible on my LinkedIn profile as well. So these are the two ways through which you can connect, and then based on the topic, we can take it forward. Like we can engage more deeply. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was great to have you here. Indeed, it was a fruitful session. Thank you so much, ma'am.